Ange, obviously a real sadness within the club and the wider Celtic family with the death of Bertie Auld. And I suppose when you see the tributes coming in from ex-players, from people throughout football and also fans, it gives you an indication of just how much he meant to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit uncomfortable for me to talk about it because, as you said, there's so many people that he had an impact on who know this football club a lot more better than I do. I've only just arrived, but it just hits you, just the magnitude of, and the stature of these kind of people who've helped Celtic be is what it is today. And Bertie's, he's obviously a larger than life character, and when you hear the stories and what he was like, not just as a player obviously, but as a person, you understand why this club is so special, because of people like that have been through its doors, and their legacy lasts well beyond their playing career. We obviously, we're fortunate we got John Clark, who's around the building, and I had a good chat to him today about it, and he was quite emotional, speaking about Bertie. But it just hits you the responsibility you have representing this football club, because some real giants as men have represented and graced this shirt and this football club, and it's sad, and obviously condolences to the family, but there's no doubt that in 50 years' time that people will still be talking about Bertie.
Because that team that he was part of and John Clark was part of, they established Celtic as a name throughout the world. And I was thinking, obviously, you spoke before about the fact that the Lisbon Lions, that team under Jock's team, was one of the teams that really influenced your dad and the type of football that he wanted to see play.
Yeah, absolutely. To think about it in today's terms of winning the Champions League or the European Cup back then, and the manner in which they did it, it's just it is the story of legends, and they were living legends, and in terms of they'll always be living legends of this football club, because, as I said, even after they retired, they were still very much the fabric of what has made Celtic what it is today. You can't separate the two. The Lisbon Lions, obviously this football club was founded a long time ago, but the Lisbon Lions made this football club a global entity, where even in the far reaches of Australia, which back then was literally in another world, it resonated that this football club from Scotland has won the European Cup, and these players and that manager will never be forgotten because of it.
You mentioned something about not just the fact of what he did on the park, but off the park. You spoke about it last week as well when we were talking about Tommy Burns, of how, and I think a lot of people's memories, it's of meeting Bertie as a person, and that's a really important thing of how someone is as a person, and that's what leaves the lasting impact.
That's the most important thing. I think we've all had experiences in our lives where sometimes we meet our heroes and we leave a little bit disappointed. I never met Bertie, but you just have to sort of see the way people speak about him, and that, if anything, meeting him just further entrenched what a great man he was. And for me, as I said after, obviously about Tommy Burns, it's not a... Their on-field feats were remarkable and fantastic, but it's their feats as people that everyone still talks about. The great men they were, the great orators, great storytellers. They're so important in life because they keep these things alive. I don't want to sound like a grumpy old man, but we sometimes forget the traditions of the past because people just don't tell the stories enough of why it's important. And Bertie kept all those stories alive, which I'm sure will get passed on to somebody else now. And that's because of the person he was. He wanted to tell people these things, to make them fall in love with his football club and what it was about.